Last episode, we did the top 5 best Super Bowls.
Mm.
And, we kind of went through and talked about them. And I kind of realized that the Super Bowls that we enjoyed or that we felt were the best, it was a small list. Like we definitely got to a point where it was just like decent games that were Super Bowls, and we were like, oh, I mean, it was a cool game.
Well, when you think about it, it's tough to like have a good one, you know.
But there's a lot of bad Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of bad Super Bowls or disappointing Super Bowls or underwhelming Super Bowls.
60 of these fucking things. Dude.
And before Super Bowl 59, I already had plans to do a top 5 worst Super Bowls list.
Mm.
And we have a Super Bowl that might have been bad enough to make the list.
Might.
We're gonna go, Devin. I'm gonna remind you of some of these awful Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And here's the thing:
right.
there's more reasons why Super Bowls can be bad compared to good. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Like
if
there's more potential to be a bad Super Bowl.
If a Super Bowl is good, it's because it's typically because it was like a competitive game.
Yeah.
A bad Super Bowl, it could have been one-sided. There could have just been, terms of star power, just a boring game to watch, or just a boring game to watch on both sides.
Sure. Like Rams.
Or certain narratives like not giving Walter Payton the ball at the goal line and just giving it to Refrigerator Perry. It's like there are certain reasons to just for a Super Bowl to leave a bad taste in your
Rams
mouth.
Bengals, where it's just like this matchup feels stinky.
Like, what are we doing here? All right,
this matchup doesn't mean anything.
Top 5 worst Super Bowls. We're gonna figure it out.
It's weird to think about that Matt Stafford has a Super Bowl.
That ain't weird.
It is. It's weird.
It ain't
especially
weird.
in the
I think
time
people try to knock him for beating.
You know?
People try to knock him for beating the Bengals, but I mean,
no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they can try to or whatever, but
that Super Bowl ain't
I think
on this
people
list.
forget. I'm going to be honest. People forget that there was some ref controversy against the Chiefs in that Bengals AFC Championship game.
Against the Chiefs in that Bengals AFC Championship game. Was
if
that
I can
the
remember
out of
correctly,
bounds?
there was
Was that the whistle?
I think so. Yeah.
That was the whistle blown. I mean, whatever. I mean, look, we're not here to talk about the Bengals Super Bowl appearance run or whatever because that Super Bowl doesn't even make this list, Devin. There are way worse Super Bowls than that. Starting off with Super Bowl 50.
50 sucked.
MVP Cam, 15-1 Panthers. Peyton Manning hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
And what do we get?
It was Brock Osweiler driving him to the fucking Super Bowl.
24-10. The most controversial, I guess, nail in the coffin ending type situation where, obviously Cam didn't dive on the football and really led to the downfall of his entire career.
That it was,
And just, you're right. Just the shit performance from the Panthers in general. I mean, just on the offense side of the ball and how great they were that year and how dominant they were that year. And it was super Cam. It was MVP Cam. And 24-10, you just had annoying and Josh Norman just running around talking shit. I mean, it was just, I don't know. You
had Steph Curry banging that fucking stupid drum.
It was a shitter and almost a no question to make this list. Honestly, I don't. It's going to be hard for it to not make this top 5 worst.
Yeah, I mean, giving an award to Von Miller sucks. It's a bad look.
Super Bowl 40. The fixed one, the rigged, the rigged Super Bowl.
The one that they actually rigged. Like
the Super Bowl that wasn't fair to the Seahawks at all. 21-10. The Steelers obviously win that game.
Hines Ward, no?
On a lot of controversial calls. And I mean, but
plus the final play.
Well,
I don't know if it was the final play, but the Roethlisberger touchdown.
Oh, well, no, that wasn't the final play, but that was I'm saying the Roethlisberger touchdown where he was down, or the bullshit penalty for the Hines Ward touch that led to the Hines Ward touchdown, whatever. It's just that game obviously was fixed. Now if you go back and watch the damn game, is it that it's almost like when you know the Chiefs are going to win because they just keep getting everything handed to them. It's like, all right, well, I mean, you get to a point where it's like, obviously the Seahawks are not winning this football game no matter what. Now, is it as much as a shitter as 50? No, I think
No.
it's more hated than 50 because of the controversial calls, but 50 has bad play and controversial moments.
Yeah, I don't
know.
That was before my time, so I didn't get that immediate vibe of how bad that Super Bowl was. I didn't really get that at all.
But it was 2K, Sean.
But,
it wasn't just you had 2,000 yards, Sean Alexander that year. Obviously,
right.
It's just
it's a forgotten year.
It's not Super Bowl 50. Super Bowl 40 ain't 50.
No,
I will say that. How about Super Bowl 53?
I think 50 was just more disappointing than bad.
Oh, you want to
talk also about bad.
You want to talk about disappointing?
53, you said?
13-3 Patriots Rams.
Yes.
The year where we got a better color rush Thursday night football game. And that was the Super Bowl that literally this was back before Mahomes got all the hate and before it was all about
that was MVP Mahomes.
And what exactly that was MVP Mahomes. Was that 5,050 touchdown Mahomes?
That was 5,050 touchdown Mahomes.
That was 5,050 touchdown Mahomes.
That was Mahomes getting beat in Arrowhead by Tom Brady plus the no PI call.
Well, and
it should have been Saints.
The offsides and oh my god. We could have had a Drew Brees, Patrick
We could have
Mahomes.
had a Drew Brees, Tom Brady, or a Drew Brees, Mahomes, or a Mahomes.
And we got this special teams battle instead.
Well, I'm going to be honest. It's been like this for a break.
Been like what?
Where we think we're getting a good bowl.
It hasn't been this bad.
We have the potential to get a good bowl.
It hasn't been this bad in terms of like what we expected.
No, of course.
What we got.
But it's like when we could have gotten Lions Ravens, when we could have gotten
but we still
Bills Commanders. We could have gotten some cool matchups.
But it still wasn't 3-0 at half.
Agreed.
Bro, it was 3-0.
Agreed.
3-0 at halftime.
Fucking Edelnut.
What are we doing? I mean, shout out to Edelman for the MVP, but I mean, still, it's like he was this close. They were this close to giving it to like Matt Slater.
They were this close to giving it to Gronk just because he caught that touchdown.
Shit, you could have gave it to Sony Michel.
Edelman had like four catches for like 115 yards or something.
Gronk just had that catch. I think Michel punched it in. Sony Michel.
Oh, you're right.
Sony Michel. They could have gave it to.
Once his nuts went down.
Give it to Sony Michel. I don't know. Who cares?
That was the only touchdown.
Give it to Stephon Gilmore. He got the pick at the end. End to steal the game. So I mean, this game sucked. I'll put it to you like this. We'll hold off on it. We'll wait.
Yeah.
It was a very. This makes it like if it makes it, it's in terms of how underwhelming it was. How about Super Bowl?
Well, I think it should make it just. If it does, what happened prior? I mean, I think the AFC Championship game was pretty controversial. The NFC Championship game was definitely controversial. What we could have gotten from that game.
Yeah, maybe, but some of these Super Bowls
not really effective.
Some of these Super Bowls are bad.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 48, Seahawks Broncos.
Fucking horrendous.
Seahawks Broncos 43-8. I mean, it was literally from the start, a blowout.
Slaughterfest.
It was an absolute slaughterfest. It was the best offense versus the best defense. You want to talk about a shitter of a game, a lopsided game, and then also the expectations just being completely shitted on. I mean, it was supposed to be.
This is Peyton Manning's 5,000.
This is what's up with all these 5,000. What's up with all these years where these quarterbacks are getting?
No, dude. It was Kurt Warner to Mahomes. Not one MVP won a Super Bowl.
But also this 5K shit. I have another one on here that I don't know. We're probably not going to consider, but I had to bring it up. Super Bowl 19, the only Super Bowl Dan Marino made his 5,000 year and put up a complete shitter 38-16 against San Fran.
San Fran?
It was San Fran.
Wasn't us? Oh no, we spanked the
Yeah.
Broncos.
Y'all spanked the
45-10 or something.
Broncos.
That was Dougie Will, dude.
Either way, seeing the best offense put up 8 points and start the game off with a snap over Peyton Manning's head and a safety, and
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler wins MVP, and it was because that's the thing.
Nope. Malcolm Smith.
My bad. Malcolm Smith wins MVP. That's on me. But that's the thing. It's like, even though it was a blowout, blowouts can be entertaining.
That one wasn't.
I wouldn't really say this was an entertaining one.
No.
Because, I mean, if you remember, like...
I mean, this Super Bowl was more entertaining than that one.
But, like, real early, like, didn't Richard Sherman, like, fucking tear his ACL or his Achilles or something?
I think he tore his Achilles. I
know
he got hurt.
Real early, he tore something up, and like I said, it was from the start. It was the snap over the head, the Malcolm Smith pick six. I mean, it was over.
There was also something about, like, I don't know where that Super Bowl was played, but
New York.
It just looked weird.
Well, you had Joe Namath with the premature coin toss.
Yeah,
they had to catch it in midair.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot.
That whole thing was just so weird.
That Super Bowl sucked.
It was terrible.
Like, that Super Bowl absolutely sucks. So right now, for sure, looking at 48. For sure, looking at 50. Super Bowl. Okay, not putting this in there because I don't think it makes it, because these other ones were gonna probably gonna make the cut. Super Bowl 35. The reason I'm adding this in is for one reason: Ravens Giants. The only reason I'm throwing this in, and I didn't know if you knew this, Phil Mickelson. He put in a preseason bet, $20,000 on the Ravens to win the Super Bowl that year.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Is that why they won?
I don't know, but it was just that was the fact I saw. Phil Mickelson preseason bet Super Bowl champs Ravens.
That's
20K.
awesome.
20K on that shit.
Because what's funny is, I'm gonna be honest, he could have put 20K on each team. Like, he's gambled away, I'm pretty sure, close to $600 million.
Oh, okay. So it's just some mattress Mac bullshit.
No, he is a serial money loser. Like, he has ruined lives over the amount of money.
Yeah, but we just talk about his losses. Why don't we talk about what he's won? How much did he win on that? You know, how much did he win on that?
No. On that one?
Well, I'm saying, like, you're saying he's lost this much, but are you talking in literal profit? Like, he's lost this much and hasn't even made up for it, or maybe he's lost as much but he's won that much because he's
I'm saying that he's made, like, a lot of money and lost, like, no longer has 600 million of it.
So you think he's in debt?
No, I think he made so much from playing golf and doing things. Maybe he made a little bit gambling, but then just lost a big chunk of it from putting down insane bets.
But I think he's probably made some of that back. But he's got
6 majors, and so
he's probably made some back. You know,
he's fine.
Yeah,
he also
I think
has
he's
Saudi
okay.
money now.
So he bet on the Ravens in 2000, so guess what? It worked. Super Bowl 59.
This the numbers make me so mad because I don't fucking know.
And I said this earlier, but it's not even. It is the underwhelming factor, but it's also just the fact that Kansas City decided to play this bad in the Super Bowl. Like, I think
they hadn't had a game this bad in 4 years.
On purpose. I guess they only I guess technically they got blown out by Denver, but, like, you know, like I'm saying, like,
no, their last, like, bad game was against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Their last really bad game. Since then they've won.
They
didn't make it back in 21, but the past 3 years they have not had a game that bad or close to that bad.
Devin, this was the worst performance I've ever seen from Mahomes, bro. Like, from and obviously it's recency bias, but in terms of, you know, obviously there's no bigger game than the Super Bowl. So in terms of the stage you're playing in, this has got to be the worst Mahomes performance ever.
For sure.
This has to be.
For sure.
I mean,
I mean,
it's
he did get sacked a bunch against Tampa, but
and if we're talking about a
this was
Super
bad.
Bowl, we're talking about a Super Bowl where the 2,000 yard leader, 2,000 yard rusher didn't even have barely had an impact on
Barely had
on
50
on Philly
yards.
winning that game, and
Yeah.
someone who is to some people so much better to Tom Brady that they're like, you guys should never post another episode again. You guys, there's no way you guys are that stupid to say he doesn't clear Brady. Played this bad.
Yeah.
If Tom Brady played this bad, look, I'm
Well, no,
just saying.
here's the thing. Tom Brady did play this bad for a half.
Oh yeah, but
And then flip
yeah,
flop,
he
suck my nuts
obviously
backwards
that's
and
yeah,
forwards.
but I'm saying that's the thing though. Look at the difference. I mean,
Yeah.
Tom Brady, it doesn't really matter. Nothing else really matters because of 28-3. And I'm not going to say nothing else matters because of this game, but this is a major shit stain on
No,
Patrick
this
Mahomes'
is
career.
2 to 3 steps back.
This is a big old shit stain.
And it is a shame. I don't know. Like in terms of success, Tom is so clear of every quarterback that it's so nearly impossible to attain that. Um, Again, I wish we could talk in the world where we're comparing Mahomes to regular quarterbacks in terms of talent. It seems like it's been a
Bro,
while since we've talked about Mahomes'
I mean,
actual talent on the field and not his legacy and shit.
we tried. We
I
tried, but
know,
we
but
tried. I mean, but like the problem is it's people where they already have him. A year ago, if you remember, the conversation was, has he already passed Peyton Manning?
and I was like, no, and
And people
I
were like,
still believe that,
and
but whatever.
people were in the comment section going, "There's no way. Come on, he obviously already passed Peyton Manning. Why are we playing dumb?" And it's like, we're not. Wow, it's
But the
Peyton
guy's played
fucking
7 years. If
Manning.
his career ended right now, he's not better than Peyton Manning.
And if
So
his career ended right now, he's definitely not better than
it's
fucking
not even
Tom
close. So
Brady.
it's like, no, I get that he's on track to be greater than these guys, but if he cuts it short like Andrew Luck or whatever, it's not the same guy we're talking about. We're not talking about Andrew Luck like he went to a fucking AFC championship and he was this good and whatever. We talk about him like the dude who quit after 7 years. So cut the shit with Mahomes being this and that. Fuck that.
And Mahomes is now it is
He's still
deserving.
on track to be.
Yeah. Now, is it deserving to be in the conversation with
Yes,
goat conversations? Yes, but
sure.
you are right. Like we don't do that with any other quarterback.
No.
Like when we talk about other quarterbacks, it's literally like, okay, are they top 5? Are they top 10? Is Mahomes, like my whole thing with Mahomes, or my whole thing with Baker for all those years was he's better
Was
than
he top 15?
he's top 15. Like he's better than
Yeah.
half of the starting. Like it's
Yeah.
always where they rank amongst their peers. And
Yes.
now, but
And now
now, go
it's
ahead.
Mahomes versus the greats.
But now that
And
Mahomes is getting
there's
knocked
not
down,
but now it's but for years it wasn't even like Mahomes was in the same world as these guys. But now hopefully he's going to get back in these conversations. We can have the conversation about Lamar and Josh being better than Mahomes at this stage. And if those guys are better than you right now, stop talking about him against Tom Brady.
Super Bowl 59 make the list. All right, I'll tell you what makes the list for sure. 50,
It's not as disappointing, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like a
okay, remember this isn't just about disappointment.
No, I know.
It's talking about the performance of somebody that
You're right.
many people are saying is already better than Tom Brady.
You're right. You're right.
I think it definitely has to be talked about or considered in this top 5. For me, I have 50, I have 40, so I have, MVP Cam getting fucked. I got
Yeah.
the rigged Super Bowl, and I got Seattle blowing the doors off of Denver.
You know what I just thought about?
What's up?
There probably wasn't one person who compared or who thought of Peyton Manning being the GOAT. Because the GOAT during his rise was Montana.
Mm-hmm.
There was probably no one who compared him to being the GOAT, and then Tom takes that over. But then now we're looking at Mahomes 7 years into his career, just because he's made a few Super Bowls, has now stepped over every fucking good quarterback there's ever been. Every Hall of Fame quarterback, he's now above.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
That's how it works. And now he might have got knocked down a few pegs just because of how shitty of a performance this was. Because I don't think Lamar or Josh was going to put up this shitter.
No.
I don't think they're going to put and when they do get the opportunity, I don't think they are going to put up that.
Well, and then there's just everyone's going to talk and be like, oh, well, Lamar and Josh have never been in this position. It's like, suck my fucking cock left and right.
See, but my thing with Josh and Lamar is, yes, obviously, I'm going to sit here and say, okay, I'm going to go with Kansas City beating the Bills or Baltimore because I haven't been proven, like Lamar or Josh haven't proven that they can get it done when it matters the most. Now, if Lamar or Josh plays good enough to make it to a Super Bowl, that clearly means they beat some teams and beat some teams when it mattered the most,
Yes.
So at that point, once they made it to a Super Bowl, you kind of got to give them, cut them some slack and say, all right, well, they made it here.
Yes.
I don't know. It's just you can't, once Lamar or Josh Allen makes it to a Super Bowl, it can't be like, this thing where it's like, they're never in this situation. It's like, no, now they are.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And we got to see what happens, but we don't know yet. Yeah. What about the other Chiefs loss? 55, 31-9, Tampa Tom.
What was the score?
31-9.
Yeah, that's bad.
31-9.
But that went the same way. It was just him getting sacked left and right.
It was him getting fucked. It was Tom having fun in Tampa.
And you know what I was thinking about the whole time I was watching the halftime show? I was like, damn, the Weeknd did way better than Kendrick did, dude.
Yeah, but that show, bro, I'm not gonna lie, all these halftime shows,
no, they stink.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't know. They're like just 12-minute spectacles.
And it sucks that like everyone's like, oh, this was a political message. It's like, I'm watching fucking football. What are you talking about, political message? You think I'm thinking about the U.S. policy right now?
Nope. I'm thinking, honestly, I'm watching football.
I'm thinking about
and I'm like,
Mahomes' legacy going down the toilet.
Like, what am I going to say tomorrow on the podcast? Not like, oh, man, look at that flag.
Yeah,
I get it now.
I really care about the Crips and the Bloods hanging out together. Fuck off.
All right, you just sounded like Mr. Rogers.
Damn.
You're good. But all right.
Well, I'm not involved in any of that shit. I don't know anything about that.
The worst Super Bowl.
I don't need to see Serena Williams.
50 or 40.
What's worse? Wait, you talking the worst ever?
I think one. I mean, number one. Is there anything else that you got to consider? One here. Let me throw out a couple more. But I'm gonna tell you what I mean, 50, 40, 48. I'm definitely 100% locked in. Got to make the list. 53, 13-3 with the Rams and the Patriots. That's got to be considered. I think 59 can be considered. If we start to go any further back, like okay, my thing about Super Bowl 20 was, all right, they didn't give Walter the ball. It was still a 46-10 fucking blowout, and it was a great year or whatever. I don't care. I'm not a Chicago fan. It doesn't bother me. If you go to Super Bowl 41, speaking of Chicago, Colts, Chicago. And, the biggest reason for this is when I talked about just star power. It's Peyton Manning versus Rex fucking Grossman.
Agreed.
Besides the opening kickoff.
The opening kickoff.
Once rain started coming down, Super Bowl. Yeah, rain started falling. It was like, all right, what are we even doing here? Do we really care about this? Because let's be real, Peyton winning that Super Bowl didn't mean shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
what do you mean?
I'm saying,
like, for him.
By
himself?
the time Peyton got to Denver, there were 10 conversations about regular season accolades being had about him before his Super Bowl win against the Bears.
Yeah, no. It was the same way we talked about Aaron, really. It was like, we don't really talk about Aaron's win in the Super Bowl. It wasn't that big a fucking deal.
That's true. But and I think it's way more I think it's way more impressive to beat a Pittsburgh Steelers, a 2011 Pittsburgh Steelers, either way.
Sure. But but a lot of the conversation around Peyton was that just that bullshit with him and Eli, where it was like, Eli's got two.
But from what we've gotten together, I think we have our 5. It's just what the order is.
Yeah, I like I don't know, because of the amount of star power and what we got from it, I think 50 should be the worst.
Ooh, the amount of star power, what we got from it, how underwhelming it was. From
Well, yeah, I think the fact that there was so much star power, there were so many
it
great
was
seasons going
super
on.
Cam, 15-1 Panthers. It was this, and I mean, it was still like Broncos made it there. Cool, yeah, we're gonna see the
If
sheriff,
you're a big defense fan, it's cool. But most of that game, nothing happened, and it was
and
just
and then I mean, bro, I mean, even just watching the press conference, the post game conference with Cam. I mean, it was just like,
Cam.
damn,
Cam bounced.
yeah, it was
Cam
like
heard one question and said, "All
this.
right."
This is it. This is it. Cam's gonna fall off forever after this.
Cam said, "I'm gonna ruin my career in
I'm gonna go
12
cut a
seconds.
hole. I'm
Watch
gonna
me."
go cut a hole in a big hat. Um,
I'm gonna go
um,
jump onto a helicopter and talk about my kids.
Super Bowl 50, number one, worst Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at the rigged Super Bowl. We're looking at the Seattle blowout against Denver. We're looking at 13-3, and we're looking at this year's. I think this year's is 5.
This year can go 5.
This year's makes the 5, and it really defines,
And it
what it,
could be recency bias, but I think the Super Bowl will only get worse with time.
it defines how bad it truly was, considering there were 58 other options, and it still made it.
Yeah. Well, because, I'm going to be honest. We're not considering all 58, but
Devin, I could sit here and name all 58 other Super Bowls, and I don't think you'd be able to convince me that this Super Bowl that was played 2 days ago was any better than any. I could come up with any storyline for any of those Super Bowls back in the day, no matter what, because from what I saw and from what you do see, it's like, all right, the Niners, they blow out San Diego, they blow out Miami. Oh, the Bears in Super Bowl 20, they blow out fucking New England. Oh, Joe Namath, he guaranteed he was gonna win, and he did. Oh, Super Bowl 5, what a shitter! But Baltimore finally gets it done. I mean,
Baltimore's got a ring.
Roger Staubach. Oh, fucking Lynn Swan. Like
Derry Bradshaw. Like, boopity boop.
But do you know who none of these players are named? Like, do you know where none of these players' names are? In categories with Tom fucking Brady.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' name is next to Tom fucking Brady's, and he played like shit. It's gotta be 5. 59 going to 5.
I mean, I think we're gonna have to look into worst performances of all time.
Yeah.
Is this worse than Cam's? Is this close?
I'd love to see. I guess he threw what, a touchdown or 2? He threw 1 or 2. I don't know. I can't remember anymore at this point.
I'd love to rewatch those games and see how bad Cam truly was.
But I'll say honestly, I don't think you can't put you have to put 40 at 2.
Yeah, no.
How rigged it was. I mean, like there.
And then I think, what is it?
48 or 48? 53 or 48? What was worse?
48.
Okay, you're right. 48 was.
Because 48 was just a damn shame,
53 and okay, so top five worst Super Bowls of all time. Number 5, Super Bowl 59. 4, Super Bowl 53. 3, Super Bowl 48. 2, Super Bowl 40. 1, Super Bowl 50. Super Bowl 50, you had it was everything. It was the disappointment, the blowout factor, the just how boring the game was, the expectations compared to reality. Super Bowl 40, completely rigged. I mean, just absolutely rigged. Super Bowl 48, you had an absolute
it was like,
blowout.
What was that NBA Finals?
Kings or the Western Conference. You're talking about Kings Lakers, which was like literally fixed.
Like
Scott
for
Foster,
real fixed.
Actually had money.
Was it Scott Foster or the other guy?
Scott Foster is who fucks with CP all the time, isn't it? CP3 all the time, isn't it? I don't know why I made.
No, it was the other dude.
I don't know why I said Scott Foster. It was who the fuck?
Scott Foster's a piece of shit.
What was his name? Yeah, I was just thinking of it. Sorry,
but he was like, yeah, we cheated.
I just thought of another shitty NBA ref, but
of course.
Super Bowl 48. Obviously, all the expectations of literally the two best sides of the ball coming to play each other in a Super Bowl. Fucking 43-8. Super Bowl 53, kind of the same thing, except you had two great offenses, and you expected something. And like I said, 3-0 at halftime. That is just, it's not the worst performances from both sides, but it's just a boring ass game. And Super Bowl 59, you had the GOAT in some people's minds, literally playing his way out of the GOAT conversation.
It's such a shame. And I mean, I bet people think that way about Tom, or used to feel that way about Tom, like putting him in the GOAT conversation way back in the day or whatever. But the disrespect toward every other quarterback who's ever walked, and all the other quarterbacks currently in the league, I get none of them have been to this many Super Bowls and this shit and that shit and whatever, but
Tom wasn't in the GOAT conversation until
2016. Well, no, he was in the conversation before that.
2014, 2015, 2014.
14, yeah.
Seahawks, they beat Legion of...
Well, he was in the conversation.
He's always been in the conversation.
But it wasn't
until he got to that second Super Bowl run. It was those two giant losses where it was like, ooh.
Of course.
You haven't won since the early 2000s. And it was all that shit. Exactly. And now all of a sudden he has 7.
I heard Tom talk about it the other day. I was like, no, it's fucking 10 years in between Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. It's fucking nuts.
Which is kind of crazy to think that Tom has 7 rings and still went 10 years without.
10 years without one, dude.
But all right, that's our top 5 worst Super Bowls.